Alright, let's read this problem now and solve it together. If you are confident in your skills and you'd like to try solving this problem by yourself, I highly suggest that you pause the video at the moment, read the problem, try to solve it by yourself, then come back, compare your solution to mine, and see how they differ. Because each problem has multiple way of solutions, and you give a problem to a developer or 100 developers and they will provide you with 100 different solutions, but you can acquire some knowledge from other solutions as well. So the problem says, write a program in C# to calculate the monthly salary of employees based on their working hours. The program should first allow the users to input the number of employees. For each employee, input the name, hourly wage, and total hours worked. Use a function to calculate their gross pay. Use another function to calculate deduction, 10% tax and 5% other deductions. Use a third function to calculate net pay, gross pay minus deductions. Display the name, gross pay, deductions, and net pay for each employee. Now we can notice three things. The first requirement of the function is to let the user, which is the employer or the boss or the CEO of the company, to enter the number of the employees. Secondly, we use the hourly wage, the total hours worked, as parameters of this function, calculate their gross pay, and then from this point forward we use each output of the function of the former function as an input of the next function. So the gross pay will be used as a parameter in calculating the deductions, and the deductions result will be used to calculate the net pay as well as the gross pay as well. And then we'll display all of them, right? So let's begin with the first function. And the first function takes the hourly wage and the total hours worked and returns the gross pay. Alright, now this function will return a double number for me, and it will calculate the gross pay, and it will take double wage and double total hours worked. Notice that I have used camel case in naming these variables and a Pascal case to name the function. And then double gross pay equals wage or hourly wage hourly wage multiplied by hours worked. And let's assume that we'll have a default value for each one of them. So hourly wage is 0 or 1 and hours worked is 0. So in case we made a mistake. Okay, so in case the user or the employee didn't enter any of the hourly wage or total hours worked, the return will be a 0. And then return gross pay. And then we'll use the gross pay to create the second function to calculate the deduction function that takes the gross pay and calculates the deduction or deductions. All right, and this function will return double as well, double deductions, and then it will take the gross pay and it will perform the tax deduction equation, which is 10% multiplied by the gross pay and the other deductions as well, which equals 5% multiplied by the gross pay and then double total deductions equals tax plus other deductions, and it will return total deductions. Okay, what else? Then we have to calculate, in a third function, we have to calculate the net pay. So function that takes the gross pay and the total deductions and calculates the net pay. All right, now let's implement this function, and this function will return a double as well, and then net pay, and it will take the gross pay and the total deductions, and then of course the net pay will equal gross pay minus total deductions. I should name this in the camel case as well, total deductions, and then return net pay. Okay, and now to the main body of our application. We will be asking the employee to enter the numbers of, we will be asking the employer or the user to enter the number of their employees. So console.writeLine to inform them, please enter the number of your employees, and then to perform a next line, to go to the next line, and then console.read line, and then a variable which is numbers of employees. Notice the camel case starting with a lowercase word followed by an uppercase letter of each followed word. Alright, now just in case, because this is going to be a string, right? So I'm just gonna try to parse it now. Integer dot try parse numbers of employees. If it's correct, then out integer employees numbers. Okay, and then we can use the employees numbers for integer I equals 0. employees numbers I plus plus. Okay, and now of course please enter the hourly wage or rate, and then the next line console dot read line double hourly wage equals. You can do the try pass again with the same manner. I'm just going to assume they're going to enter the correct number, and then in this, or double, this should be double, and then we have the total hours worked, and then we'll print the gross pay, or we can just save it in a variable, the hourly wage and the hourly total hours worked, and save it in a variable. Okay, use it in here. The gross payment is gross pay, and then console.write line. The next function, the deduction or the deductions, the total deductions, the total deductions is deductions of the gross pay. What else do we have? The net pay, or the net payment. Net payment is, maybe we should save this in a different variable, the total deductions, because we're going to use it as a parameter in here. So I'm just going to be using this. Okay, double net deductions equals deductions. Okay, and this is going to be net deductions, and of course this will be what was the name of the function? Net pay, and it will take the deductions, the total deductions, and the gross pay as well. So we'll take the gross pay and the total deductions. Okay, it's called net deductions. I called the variable net deductions. The variable names do not necessarily have to match the parameter names in the functions. As long as their data type match, everything will work correctly. So now That should work, and it should go around 3 times. Each time we'll ask the employee to enter their hourly wage, but before that let's also ask the employee to enter the names. So dot write line, please enter the employee name, and it'll go down a line, and here string emp name equals console.readline, and then we'll calculate all of this, but before that, the gross payment for, let me use the string interpolation, emp name, the same way, let me just use the interpolation as well. The total hours worked as well. We need to ask the user this question, because otherwise they won't know what question to answer. Total hourly worked. Okay. Alright. Let's see this. 3. Michael. Okay, hourly wage 10. 5. Okay, 50. Now it's fine. And then the tax plus the other deduction is 7.5, and it makes sense because the tax is 10% of the gross, which is 0.5, and, or I'm sorry, 5. And then we have the other deductions, which is 2.5. So 5 plus 2.5 is 7.5. And then we have the net payment for Michael is 50 minus 7.5, which is 42.5. Let's try another one. Iris, and the hourly wage is 9, worked for 15. As you can see, let's try another one. For example, Jack, 89, worked for 10, and here you go. And this is the end of the application. I hope you enjoyed it. Compare your solution to mine, and in the next video we'll begin with the classes. Thank you.